Robert and Governor Patrick. I admire you guys so much, and it's just a privilege to get to be here with you. And I want to take just a couple minutes before the governor speaks. First, just to say how nice it is to be back in Northampton as part of the state. You know, I campaigned all over the state, but you're just wonderful. Just wonderful. I'm a little out of practice with my stump speech, so I'm using notes. I apologize. But the friendship and the encouragement, the fun, the excitement I felt every single time I was out here, it just sticks with me and will for the rest of my life. So I am deeply, deeply indebted to you for what you did for me during this exciting period of my life. I'm reminded here always of the 60s, where I come from. The faces, the topics we get to talk about, the smells, if you know what I mean. Most of the sense of possibility and the kind of mobilization that I feel out here. I'm looking at some of the super volunteers in my campaign. What you did was amazing. Now, you worked really, really hard for me, many of you here, and I deeply, I couldn't be more grateful. I need you to work now for Martha, and hard, because this election matters. I'm going to take a minute to say why I really think that. It's not about the party. It's not about the party. It's not even about this election. It's about what bonded us together when I was out here time and time again in your living rooms, in your libraries, talking about what matters. It was the people Jim's talking about, and that Peter talked about, and I'm sure the governor will. It's the people in trouble. The line from the 60s that I carry with me is, if you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. Right. And if there are problems and you're a bystander, then you're not part of the solution. You are part of the problem. We can't let that happen. We need you engaged. And it isn't going to end with this election. We need you engaged for the rest of your lives, because this war is going to go on. I want to tell you about a guy. It's a kid. I've gotten to know him, and I'm going to see him again a week from Monday. I want to write about him, and I will. His name is George Sanchez. He is not 10 miles from here. He's in Holyoke. He's 20. He's been in prison. He's in deep trouble. I met him because I was visiting the Holyoke SSYI program, which I believe you started, Governor. Is that right? That program was your brainchild, the Safe and Secure Youth Program. We've got incarceration rates in this state that are unconscionable. More incarceration in America today than there was in apartheid South Africa at the heart of apartheid. It's just one issue on the progressive front, but it's one that captivated my heart. Now, George is in deep, deep trouble, but he's got some help right now. He needs vocational services, he needs his GED, he needs someone to care about him. Last time I saw George, and he's a kid, you'd fall in love with him if you met him. He's just this beautiful 20-year-old guy who's trying to turn around. And I said at one point to George, how can I help you? And here's what he said to me. Maybe it's Zen. He said, will you please say my name on television? What he's talking about, in my opinion, is being forgotten. And that's what this election is about. That's what this whole struggle is about. It's just remembering the people who are in trouble. And they're really out there. I'm not going to give you the statistics, you know them, but if you think this election doesn't matter, you are wrong. It is just a punctuation mark, just a comma in the long story we're writing, but it does matter. You're going to get to choose whether you want someone in office who really believes that the solution to Georgia's problem is strengthening market forces and letting business do its work, so trickle down economics help Georgia. That's what this election's about. You're going to get someone who really is now already using vocabulary about lower taxes. Now, I'm not going to come out here and tell you how high taxes should be, but I'll tell you the one thing we cannot do is take away the support systems that are going to give George the vocational training and the chances for regard that he's after. We're in the code, welfare reform, identification, the proof of citizenship issue. That is all code for walking away from problems we must not walk away from. And I care deeply about that, and I know you do too. When you ever hear the conversation about smaller government and the undercutting of government's role, you are taking away a possibility from that kid's life. There's a choice we're making for him, and one involves suffering and eventually death. In the SSYI program in Holyoke, there are on the wall 3 photos of kids who look just like George, who are dead today, 2 from bullet wounds and 1 from suicide. This matters. So those of you and those you're meeting in this election season saying it really doesn't matter, it's a toss-up, you know, worst of all, I worked for Don and I'm done. You are not done. You are not done. This matters. Go to work. Get this done. That's longer than I wanted to say. But let me now take the enormous privilege of introducing Governor Patrick. You all know him. If you don't, I'll tell you about him. I worked in Washington for 17 months. I ran Medicare and Medicaid, and I dealt with dozens of governors around the state. This is the best governor in America. Go to the mat for people with disadvantage here. Did it every day. I ran Medicaid. He fought for Medicaid. He fought harder than any other governor I dealt with. And Deval Patrick is my hero. I ran for office because of you, Deval. I'm very, very grateful to you.